didn't write the last 15 sentences of my sermon. Javi, I was able to pray. Shall we start?
Should I call people in? Can I go call people in?
Yeah, invite them right to sing and to sing the first line. Who do you have for Shabbat candles? Okay. Why don't you ask Tran and Colin? And if they don't, we'll teach them for next time. I never played this. I hope it's okay. What? Nice. Nah. We'll try it out today. We'll see how that works. What? It's funny. I bought it in Southern California anyway. So, a couple of years ago. But yeah, it's kind of. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbos. What a nice thing is to welcome Shabbat in community, this Shabbat of Parashat Tzav, of commandedness, as we just turned the page from the celebration of Purim. You were here probably last week. I feel that everybody was here last week. It was like the high holidays. We saw everyone here in the shul, and it was so nice to see everybody, and almost everybody. And we also acknowledge those that are coming back from journeys, and we welcome you back. And in this Shabbat of Parashat Tzav, Shabbat Para, the red heifer, the Shabbat before Rosh Chodesh, or Shabbat before Rosh Chodesh Nisan, the Shabbat that comes before we prepare to enter the month of Nisan, which is the month of Passover. We start preparing ourselves. We start purifying our hearts, doing the work of cleaning our hearts. There's a big deal around Passover, around this concept, this idea of cleaning up, right? Some households go and trying to find a word that is, they go hard. I was trying to find a non-derogatory word. Thank you, Rabbi. So households go very profoundly in the work of cleaning for Passover. And it's important, very important, to clean up our households. I think it is even more important to clean up our hearts. And this Shabbat is the Shabbat in which we start doing that work. It gives us 5 weeks. For the high holidays are 6 or 4 weeks, depends how you count. And for Passover, the counting starts now. So hopefully, during the next 25 hours, you find some space in your heart. You recognize things in your heart that shouldn't be there, and you clean them up as we start getting closer to the celebration of our freedom, of our redemption. We will commence our Shabbat on page 120, lighting Shabbat candles.
It's my pleasure to invite up Barb and Bob to come and light the candles.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kadashanu, b'mitzvosav, v'tzivanu, lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Amen. Shabbat Shalom. As we lit the candles of this Shabbat, we will now turn our study to page 130.
Shirula
אדוני מלאכת אל הארץ, ישמחו איהים רבים. We're on page 132. אוהבי אדוני שנאו רע, שומר נפשות חסידיו. Those that are lovers of the source of being will be also haters of evil, will be haters of finding themselves in the wrong places, and therefore, or zaru al tzaddik u'lishrei lev simcha, a path. It is shown to the righteous for the seekers of righteousness, a foundation, a source of joy. מזמור שיר לאדוני, שנפלאות עשה, we're on page 133. We take a moment to acknowledge the many wonders that we have in our lives, and we ask to elevate our hearts through song as we acknowledge those wonders, those things that we encounter sometimes in our routines and we take for granted. We're on page 134, Samru Adonai. We now turn our Sidurim to page 136. Mizmor LeDavid, Psalm 29. Mizmor LeDavid, Habla Adonai ben Elim, Abu L'Adonai, Kavod Vaos, Hai Rai Rai, Abu L'Adonai, Kevod Shemo Ishtachavu L'Adonai, Hadarat Kodesh, Kol Adonai, Al Almayim, El Al Kavod Irim, Shaver Adonai et Asiyar Bano, Vayetitem, Kemo Egel, Lebanon Besirion, Kemo Emem, Hai Rai Rai, Kol Adonai, Kol Tzeblo לאבותיש כל אדוני יכיל מדבר יכיל אדוני מדבר קדש כל אדוני כל אל הידות ויחסות יעלות ובחלום הוא לא אומר כבוד היי 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 אדוני למה מול ישב וישב אדוני מלך לעולם אדוני עוש לעמו ייתן אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום איי 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 And with that sense of peace is that we come out, look toward the outside for the Shabbat bride to welcome Shabbat. We are on page 138. We will do an experiment today. We will actually sing the 9 verses of Lecha Dodi and see how that goes. Okay? If you hear that after number 2 we don't go to number 5, I want to break the news for you. There is number 3 and number 4. and you know, sometimes when you go up the stairs and sometimes down the stairs, you kind of climb up by jumping a little bit, right? And that's fine. And sometimes you go step by step. And there's a beautiful power, a beautiful strength also to be mindful of each step. So today we will go up step by step. We're on page 138 for Lecha Dodi. Lecha Dodi, לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקרלה. Lecha Dodi, לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקרלה. שמור וסחור ודיבור אחד, ישמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשמו לתפארת ולתהילה.
Lecha Dodi, לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקרלה. Lecha Dodi, לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקרלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה. מראש מקדם נתוחה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. Lecha Dodi, לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקרלה. Lecha Dodi, לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקרלה.
מקדש מלך ומלוכה, קומי יוצאי מתוך ההפכה. רב לך שרת בעמק הבכה, והוא יחמול עלייכם לה.
Lecha Dodi, לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקרלה. Lecha Dodi, לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקרלה.
נערי מעפר קומי, לבשי בגדי תפארתך-מי, על יד איש ותלחמי, כל על נפשי גאלה.
לך דודי, לכלכלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לכלכלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי בהורק קומי אורי. הורי, הורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך.
לך דודי, לכלכלה,
פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לכלכלה,
פני שבת נקבלה. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. תרשי ולא תיקחי, מה תשתוכחי ומה תהמי, בך יחסו עניי עמי, ונבנית הירדתי לה. לה 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 לך דודי, לה 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 לך כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
וחיו לשמשושייך, ורחקו חומבלייך, יסיס עלייך אלוהייך, כמסוס חתן על כלייך. לה לה לה, יא לה 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 לך דודי, יא לה לה לה, יא לה 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 לך כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
פני שבת נקבלה.
בואי ושלום, עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצולה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, איי איי איי, איי 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 איי, לך דודי, איי איי איי
Welcome Shabbat. Let's take a moment to welcome each other, to say Shabbat Shalom to each other. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. We're on page 140. Page 140. mismo שיר, שיר ליום השבת. mismo שיר,
שיר יום השבת. מזמור שיר, שיר יום השבת. מזמור שיר, שיר יום השבת. מזמור שיר, שיר יום השבת. מזמור שיר, שיר יום
We're on page 144 for Hetzikadish.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, אמן. ועמד יברח חירותי וימליך מלכותי. בחייכם וביומכם ובחיי כל בית ישראל. בגאלה, בגאלה, ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך, לעולם ולעולם מעלמיה יתברך. יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי לקודשה בריחו. לעילם לנקוב ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תמירן בעמם, ואמרו אמן.
Please rise as we turn toward Yerushalayim. We're on page 146. Sing with me, please. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר בדברו מרים ורבים בחוכמה פותח שערים. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. ומעבירו נומה בלילה, מבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, כזה ברכו
Baruch hu baruch shemo.
Let's try it again. Let's try it again. It means that you are awake. Baruch ata Adonai.
Baruch hu baruch shemo.
Amari v'ra'avim. Page 150. We think about an everlasting love, an eternal love that emerges from within our hearts. And most importantly, it is present. It is all around us. Wherever we look at, it's there. Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta, Otanu limadeta. Al ken Adonai Eloheinu b'shochbeinu ובקומנו נשיח בחוקיך, ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו לאורך ימינו, ובהם נגי יומם בלילה, נגי יומם בלילה, באהבתך תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל, אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Page 154. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני
סוד וקיים עלינו, כי הוא אדוני אלוהינו, ואין זולתו, ואנחנו ישראל עמו. Continue with the silent reading over page 156. Page 158. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים, מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים. אוי סלי, אנו בעמנו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ברי לי לי, אלי אלי, אלי As it is said, Adonai redeemed Jacob from a hand stronger than his own. Praised are you, Adonai, for redeeming Israel. Baruch Ata Adonai, Gaal Israel. We're on page 160.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu le'shalom, v'hom hitinu shomreinu le'hayim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu le'shalom, v'hom hitinu shomreinu le'hayim. Ushmor tzedkenu, uboenu, v'chaim u'shalom, ve'ata ve'adolam. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu le'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu le'chayim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu le'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu le'chayim.
ברוך אתה אדוני, הפורש סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים. Blessed are you, Adonai, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people, Israel, and all the peoples of the world. And the city of Shalom, the city of Jerusalem, and we say, Amen. Shabelu b'nei Israel et Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. היי 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 יישא אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. Continue with תפילת עמידה on page 166 in silence. תגיבו לעולם אדוני מלחמת יתר רב להושיע. הקדוש משכן הקדוש אדוני על הקדוש. מודים אנחנו נשת אדוני אלינו ולעבדנו במתנו לעם בעת וחיינו. The bottom of page 180. ולרצון אמרי פי, והגיון ליבי לפניך, אדוני, צורי וגואלי. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, Adonai, my rock and my redeemer. And let's read together in Hebrew. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל, באמרו אמן.
Continuing on in our service, I ask us all to acknowledge those who we think of, those in need of healing of body or mind or spirit. As my eyes go around the room, I want to invite you to share the name of who you might be thinking of aloud.
Scott Van Gundy, Dave Stahl, Greg Herb, Margaret McGuan, Carol Rosenberg, June Chapman, Batya Peters, Rich the Bridger, Sandra Goldberger, Elise Musin, Denise Pringle, Debbie Pink, Ruth Murad, Diane Siegel, Adrienne Serta, Mara Engel, Victoria Spiller, Pearl Sandelman, Zariah Mills, Judy Sutton, Nadia Fachinova, Bob Schill, Ellen Kashik, David Tuttleman, Richard Ravitch, Bernice Paris, Lily Ann Murad, Anna Dolinsky, Bernard Zeldow, Brant Kotovsky.
We join together in our prayer for healing this evening, our traditional prayer of Moses. Praise to God for healing for his sister. Anna, Elna, Anna, Elna, Anna, Elna, Anna, Elna, Anna, Elna, Refanana.
Wish to all those that are dealing with illness in their lives, in their souls, those that are carrying grief, those that are dealing with addictions. Wish to all of them, to all of you, to all of us, well-being and a complete recovery of spirit and of body. And we say once again, Amen. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
I'll take care of the setup for 1 second. I have like about 50 minutes of a sermon, so I will drink some water before I get started. It feels like we are switching into springtime. Isn't that right? And actually, we are switching in terms of the seasons of the year for sure, and also in terms of how we are thinking of the Jewish calendar, year. We are in the second Torah portion of the book of Leviticus. It's called Tzav. And Tzav means what? It comes from the word mitzvah, from the word commandment. It's an imperative. Go and command. And in the book of Leviticus, we learn about the commandments mostly that are around the work of the Mishkan, the tabernacle. And in this case, we are going to be thinking this portion about sacrifices. Most of them will be if not all of them, will be numbered in this Torah portion. Ba'esh al HaMizbeach, says the book of Leviticus, chapter 6, verses 5 and 6. תוקד בו לא תקבה ובער עליה הכהן עצים בבוקר והלך עליה עולה והקטיר עליה חלבי השלמים. The fire on the altar shall be kept burning, not to go out. Every morning the priest shall feed wood into the Mizbeach, into the altar, lay out the burnt offering on it, and turn into smoke the fat parts of the offerings of well-being. A perpetual fire shall be kept burning on the altar and not to go out. While this statement could be read exactly as it is and could go by inadvertently, it raises a very important question. The work of sacrifices is a combination of routinary offerings and some spontaneous ones. These sacrifices take place at the altar in the tabernacle. And for that, we need the fire to always be there. The fire, says the Torah, shall be kept burning. A perpetual fire shall be kept burning on the altar, and I didn't write this, not to go out. As the Beatles coined it, all you need is, everybody knows the answer, right? Now the question is, how do you actually do that? And so, how do we keep the fire burning? Now, I do understand combustion, okay? Or pachot o yoter, more or less. However, the idea of keeping the fire burning, the fire alive, doesn't seem to be a trivial matter. How do we keep the fire burning after 7 years of marriage? How do we keep the fire burning after achieving a substantial goal? How do we keep the fire burning when we are feeling tired, when we are uncertain, when we are afraid, when we are angry? How do we nurture that fire? All you need is love, right? But how do you do that? How do we nurture that fire? A beautiful idea and a possible answer to this question emerges for the verse on chapter 7, verse 15th of the book of Leviticus as well, same Torah portion. And the flesh, I know it sounds already interesting in the context of sacrifices, and the flesh of the thanksgiving sacrifice of well-being shall be eaten on the day that it is offered. None of it shall be set aside until morning. So you eat it all. That's the answer. The Thanksgiving sacrifice belongs to a category of sacrifices called Sevach Shlemim, sacrifices of well-being. The Sevach Shlemim was a voluntary offering brought by individuals to express gratitude, make vows, or celebrate special occasions such as weddings, the birth of a child, or other joyous events. It was distinct from other offerings in that it emphasized fellowship and communal sharing as portions of the sacrificed animal were given to the priest, the offerer, and sometimes shared with the poor. While the sacrifices of well-being were to be eaten within 3 days of the sacrifice being performed, that wasn't the case for the Sevach Todah, for the Thanksgiving sacrifice. The Thanksgiving sacrifice shall be eaten on the day that is offered. None of it shall be set aside until morning. And whatever is left shall be burned. Rabbi Shai Held wonders, why? Why does the Torah find the prospect of leftovers disturbing? Why must the thanksgiving offering of all sacrifices be eaten on the very day it is brought? He explains, the nature of gratitude is such that is inherently outward looking. He continues, gratitude is, psychologist Robert Emmons insists, a moral emotion in that it leads to behavior intended to benefit others. Gratitude leads to a behavior that is intended to benefit others. Similarly, says Rabbi Shai, the joy during pilgrimage festivals, as described in Deuteronomy, is intended to be inclusive, right? The offering of Passover, the offering of the festivals is to be shared with the family, with the orphan, with the widow, with the poor, with the stranger that is nearby. And what's the mitzvah around the pilgrimage holidays? Besamachta bechagecha. You shall rejoice in the holidays. And how do you do that? By sharing with others. The offering of the pilgrimage festivals, as described in Deuteronomy, is intended to be inclusive, especially toward the socio-economically vulnerable. Rabbi Held quotes Blanstein, who explains that true joy overflows the boundaries of individualism and becomes kindness, chesed, which means loving kindness. True joy overflows the boundaries of individualism, such as the Thanksgiving offering, and becomes loving kindness, something that has to be absolutely shared. All of it. Has no point. There's no point on keeping it for yourself. Professor Sarah Algos, her research focuses on gratitude and its role in social interactions, specifically on how gratitude influences and enhances relationships and feelings of love. One of her notable contributions is the find, remind, and bind theory of gratitude, which suggests that gratitude helps individuals to identify benefactors, that is fine, encourages them to see these benefactors as valuable relationship partners, that is remind, and promotes a desire to form a stronger bond with them, that is bind. Find, remind, bind. in a study led by Professor Algo, partners alternated expressing and receiving gratitude. I find these are spectacular, but when I'm able to manage to turn the page. Evaluating, so the partners exchange with each other feelings of gratitude. They look at each other and they say, I am grateful for this and that reason. They were asked to be very specific. And there was a group of observers that were evaluating their feelings of love and positivity and observing these interactions. Subsequent to that, a saliva analysis for the CD38 gene associated with oxytocin release linked to this chain to the enhanced feelings of love and positivity, of love and positive psychological outcomes tied to gratitude expressions was found, and the levels found turned out to be very high, bringing the point that gratitude was found to be a central component, a key element in explaining why couples loved each other. Being grateful, expressions of gratitude. Now, if all you need is love, and all we need to do is to keep the fire burning, which seems to be a simple task, but for anyone who has engaged in any kind of journey, you know that keeping the fire burning is really, really, really difficult. Keeping love burning is really, really, really difficult. So how do we get that thing that we need so much? That fire that we need in order to communicate in the context of the Torah narrative with the creator of the world and in our own lives, maybe with what is meaningful, what is worthy to us. How do we keep that fire alive? The Torah makes a very clear suggestion. We keep that fire, and so does psychology, right? We keep that fire alive by bringing our offerings of gratitude, by looking outwards, by looking at those that are sharing their lives with us and articulating our sense of gratitude, by making sure that we don't keep any leftovers and we share every single drop of what we have in our overflowing, the allegorical overflowing cup of the psalmist. We share it all. We share it all. We don't leave any drop within the confines of that cup. But most importantly, maybe we receive or experience that love, or maybe the only way for us to actually receive and experience that love is by nurturing a deep sense of gratitude for what we have. So I want to invite everyone as we are entering this time of preparation for Passover. And we are starting the work of cleaning up our living spaces. Let's make sure that we remove the obstacles from within our living spaces, our hearts. The obstacles that prevent from us the ability to show up and make our sebachot shel todot, our sebach todot, our offerings of gratitude for those that are around us and that prevent from us the very important mitzvah of experiencing joy through sharing with each other. Shabbat Shalom. We'll continue our service, turning our Sidurim to page 586 for Aleinu Leshavech. And if we do have children in the sanctuary, we would like to invite you to open the ark. And I'm seeing around that we don't have lollipops, but we're going to have them next week. We promise. If you are a child and you are here today, we promise next week you will have lollipops. Please rise. Maybe 2 lollipops for each one of you. Aleinu Leshavech l'Adonai kol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו גאויי הרצון ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם וגורלנו ככל עמונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. page 590. ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם בהם. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. You may be seated.
If you are in the first 7 days of morning Shiva, please rise and share with us who you are remembering. If you are in the first 30 days of morning Shloshim, please rise and share with us who you are remembering. Your father. If you are in the cycle of the first year of mourning, please rise and share with us who you are remembering.
My nephew, David Sherman.
My father, Norm Bickleman.
Gary Bronstein, my husband.
Your father.
If you have a yahrzeit this week, an anniversary of someone's passing, please rise and share with us who you are remembering.
My grandmother, Mary Muirhead.
The congregation offers its condolences to Pia Chamberlain on the death of her friend Inger Jensen, and to Linda Allen on the death of her cousin Ben Rice Erso. We remember those who've been taken from us during this past year: Carolyn Latween, Perry France, Tracy Taub, Sherwin Kotofsky, Lance Vault, Lillian Sidlow, Gail Frankel, Bruce Roberts, David Sherman, Alfreda Massman, Sally Small, Rabbi Jerry Levy, Judy Schwartz, David Benke, Dr. Steve Taub, Louis Dick, Sung Nguyen, Diane Kalmus, Gary Bronstein, Ilya Rabinovich, Bonnie Epstein, Mahin Bahun Sinai, Guy Iluz, Mark Allen Grubbs, Connie Shine, Rosemarie McGuan, Stanley Rich, Sandy Bain, Jerry Levy, Rosalie Berkowitz, Adrian Friedman, Tripp Richardson, Eleanor Hill, Daniel Knipe, Sandra Koff, Yana Rosso Benito, Marcel Cunningham, Madeline Salzman, Kevin Scott, Robert Kilgore, Dahlia Schneider, Michael Pleiner, Joyce Levine, Shirley Israel, Thelma Turner, Marilyn Graben, and those who died at this season in years past: Charlie Rotman, Elizabeth Baum, Ethel Stark, Helen Saperstein, Kathleen Marie Dusenbeer, Lois Polsky-Bookie, Marion Wisnia, Mary Muirhead, Mira Bashi, Phyllis Bale, And you can support our community by standing or sitting, joining us with your voices or your hearts for Kaddish Avilim, the Mourner's Kaddish, on page 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah,
Amen.
בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי כל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך בעולם ולעולמי עמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא. ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה וחיים, עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום, עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ואמרו אמן.
Amen, amen. May the memories of your dear ones be always a blessing in your life. Yesichram Baruch. You may be seated.
It's our pleasure to invite up Molly to come and share some announcements with us.
I'm going to provide the microphone.
Come right over. You're good.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat
Shabbat
shalom.
shalom, everyone. Okay, so lower your expectations.
I can whisper the rhymes in your ear.
All right. So I'm just going to go over a few highlights of upcoming events that are going on in our community. Tomorrow morning, and of course you can get all of this online on our website, on our calendar. Tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., Shabbat Cafe in the foyer. Please register online or just show up. At 9:30, Torah study, followed by 10:30 a.m. Shabbat service. Tuesday, April 2nd, at 7 p.m., we are delighted to host Rabbi Eli Kaufner, President and CEO of the Hadar Institute in New York. The topic for the evening is Praying Anew, Unlocking the Meaning of Words of the Siddur. Please register for that online. And then Thursday, April 4th at 11:30 a.m., the last session of the year for, okay, a little bit. Yeah. I know I have to eat it, but I don't really want to eat it. Okay. The last session of the year for Nashim, of remarkable Jewish women with Rabbi Nico. Register for lunch is mandatory. And upcoming events. Friday, April 12th, 8 p.m., there's going to be a tish with visiting Rabbi David Kasher, a discussion of how humans love through the lens of Jewish and Greek concepts of desire and intimacy. Please register for that online.
Molly, but we already got to the bottom line of that. How do we love? Gratitude, Molly.
Gratitude.
That's true. Saturday, April
That's it.
13th at 12:30 p.m., lunch and learn with the visiting rabbi again, David Kasher. As AI comes into being, we are collectively re-exploring the question, what makes us human? With angels, animals, and Adam, we will navigate the Torah and midrashic responses that might speak to the question of our own age. Please register online ASAP for lunch. It helps us plan accordingly. And then I had a public service announcement I wanted to make. If any of you weren't able to be with us for all of our Purim celebrations, if you missed the kiddie spiel or the adult spiel or the service and the reading of the Megillah, check out online. It's all on YouTube. It's really cool. I've been sending it to everybody. So yeah, get on there and send it to people you know. Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom. So we're going to continue with Kiddush on page 122. We invite you to rise. בערב ויבוקר יום השישי, ויחולו השמיים והארץ וכל צבאם, ויחל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה, וישבות ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה, ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי, ויקדש אותו, כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. Savary.
Chaim.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'hatzavanu, v'shavat kadsho, v'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu. Zikaron lemase bereshit, ki hu yom tehila lemikrae kodesh, zecher letziat Mitzrayim, ki banu achata ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim, Shabbat kodshecha ve'ahava uratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat.
Amen. We'll now make sure that nobody leaves this space without sharing blessings, but without joining us in blessings. We are not only going to bless the wine, we are going to also bless each other and our creations and this Shabbat. We invite you to stand next to your families, to your beloved ones. As in Shabbat, we acknowledge
Your chosen
our
family.
creations. We say
Gonna be my buddy.
to our children, Yasimchem Elohim Kefraim Bekemenashe, Yasimchem Elohim Kesara, Rivka, Rachel, Belea. May God inspire you to be like the loving parents of the house of Israel. We say to all of them, to all of you, Yivarechechem Adonai Beish Merechem. May God bless you and protect you. Yair Adonai Panav Elechem Bichunechem. May God's light shine upon you, and may God be gracious to you. Isa Adonai Panav Elechem. May you find within you God's presence always, and may you love your way through life. May you find gratitude. May you show up with your offerings, and most importantly, you make sure that they are not leftovers. You share them. You share them. You share them because the real joy of life is to recognize that our cup is overflowing and there is a lot within that cup to be shared with others. May God give you the strength and the peace to be one that knows how to share. V'asem lachem shalom. Adonai os le'amav item. May God blesses its peoples with the courage, and may God bless us to be builders, to be makers of shalom. Adonai yevarech et amo et amav b'shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom mevorach, everybody. We finish with shalom aleichem. Page 142. Shalom aleichem. Alachem Hashem. Malachei Hashem, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malchei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Yalai Lai 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 Lai. Ya la 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 la.
Ya la 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 la.
La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Shabbat shalom, everybody.